It's a strange thing to think about, isn't it? Imagine two families, one is in Manchester, the other in Madrid. Both are putting the kettle on for a nice cup of tea, but the cost of boiling that water is worlds apart. The family in Manchester is paying a shocking amount more for that small burst of electricity. This isn't just a one-off. It's the reality for millions across the UK. We're facing some of the highest energy bills in Europe, and it's leaving people with impossible choices. Do you heat the house or buy a proper weekly shop? I've met so many people who are genuinely scared to open their post. They see that brown envelope from their energy supplier and their heart just sinks. They're doing everything right. Turning off lights, putting on extra jumpers, setting timers on their heating, yet the bills keep climbing. You look across the channel to places like France or Spain, and their bills often feel more manageable. So what's going on? Why are we being hit harder than our European neighbours? It's a mix. Global politics, decisions made decades ago, and the way our houses are built. It's about where our energy comes from and the journey it takes before it powers our homes. Massive pipelines stretching thousands of miles, giant ships crossing the oceans, and a complex market where prices can flip in the blink of an eye. Understanding this is the first step to seeing why making a cup of tea has gotten so expensive. So let's get into the big one, where our energy actually comes from. A huge chunk of our gas, which we use for heating and to generate a lot of our electricity, is imported from other countries. We used to get a lot from our own North Sea gas fields, but those are running down. Now we have to buy it on the global market. That means we're in competition with everyone else from Germany to Japan. When something big happens somewhere else in the world, like a political conflict or a supply disruption, the global price of gas can shoot up overnight. We are completely exposed to these shocks. It's like our national energy supply is balanced on a knife edge. This reliance on imported gas is a massive vulnerability. We're essentially price takers, not price makers. When global demand for gas goes up, or a major supplier decides to turn off the taps, we feel it almost instantly in our bills. Other countries, like France, get a lot more of their electricity from nuclear power. This makes their supply more stable and less dependent on the chaotic ups and downs of the global gas market. Decisions made by our governments years ago to not invest in more diverse and secure energy sources have left us in this really precarious position, and it's ordinary people who are now paying the price for it. Then there's the way our electricity prices are set. It's a bit complicated, but basically the price of electricity in the UK is often determined by the most expensive source needed to meet demand at any given time, and guess what that usually is? Gas. So even if a lot of our power on a windy day is coming from cheap wind farms, the overall price we pay is still tied to the sky-high cost of gas. Critics say this system is broken. It means that even as we build more renewable energy sources, the benefits aren't being passed on to us, the customers, in the form of lower bills. Finally, you can't ignore the role of government policy. Things like green levies, which are charges added to our bills to pay for environmental projects and renewable energy investment. So who actually decides the final price we pay? For most of us, the price is governed by something called the energy price cap. This is set by the UK's energy regulator, Ofgem. Many people think the price cap is the maximum your bill can be. Not true. It's a cap on the amount suppliers can charge you per unit of gas. It's a cap on the amount suppliers can charge you per unit of electricity, and it covers the daily standing charge. So if you use more energy, your bill will still be higher. The cap exists to stop companies from hiking prices and profiteering when wholesale costs rise. Ofgem calculates the cap from many factors, but the biggest is the wholesale cost of energy, what suppliers pay for gas and electricity. They also include the cost of maintaining the pipes and wires to homes, operating costs, and a small amount of profit for suppliers. The cap is reviewed regularly, so bills can change every few months. Recently, global gas prices shot up, forcing the cap to eye-watering levels. Even with the cap, people are struggling. What help is available? Government direct payments to households, energy companies' own support funds, rules requiring suppliers to help customers in debt, payment plans. referrals to charities for advice and grants. For many, these feel like a drop in the ocean. They soften the blow but don't fix why energy is so expensive. It's a tough situation. Ofgem must balance fair prices for customers with letting suppliers cover costs so they don't collapse. Dozens of smaller suppliers failed a few years ago. For someone at home seeing their direct debit rise again, the system can feel stacked against them. The price cap helps, but when the wholesale market goes crazy, that protection gets thin. It's a complex puzzle with no easy answers.